Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Yes, we are back and very excited to welcome back in another segment here Barry Davis from the Out of the Park podcast, longtime Blue Jay sideline reporter on Sportsnet. And there's a lot of people writing in from Ontario regarding stadiums and so forth, and we'll get to those questions. But Barry, what was the best moment for you covering the Blue Jays in a pretty exciting time for the franchise?
Oh, that's an easy one for me, and that would be the day that Jose Bautista hit the home run. And it's not just the home run. And I will say that, when an actor breaks character on TV and you're like, oh, they shouldn't have done that. Well, I broke character when he hit that home run, and I was in that camera bay, and 20 some odd years of emotion built up inside of me from the time I was a teenager and a fan. And when that home run left the ballpark, I'm there immortalized forever, jumping out of my seat, with my arms up in the air. And very briefly, that was, and then I popped myself and went, oh, hang on, I'm not supposed to do that. Don't worry, no one will have seen that.
Well, by the way, producer Clark mentioned, we were just saying how much we loved you on those broadcasts, and Clark said, the passion. Barry brought the passion. Not everybody does.
I appreciate that.
Well, then same thing. I was just big fans out here, Barry. And before we do talk about what the Blue Jays might do in free agency and where this franchise is going, to the question from the guy in Calgary that said, would the Jays not want to stay downtown? That's the plan, is it not, to build a new place where Rogers Center is?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's my opinion as someone who lives outside the city, where a lot of people do live. It's a pain in the butt to try to work your way in downtown Toronto at rush hour to get down to see a game. So, yeah, they'll stay downtown. The plan is to build it on the same spot. The only problem with doing that is, where are they going to play while they're doing that? You're not going to build it in one off season. So there will be some time where the Jays will not be able to play at the Rogers Center. They will not have a home stadium. God forbid the Blue Jays play baseball and not play. Oh, hang on, they're doing that already. Never mind. Maybe they'll be. Hopefully, it's not because of another pandemic in 4 or 5 years. But that's pretty much the long and short of it. There is some land across the street from where the Rogers Center is, just a little bit west of there. A theme park called Ontario Place that was there for years, and it's not there anymore. But they do have the land. They could potentially build something there. But either way, it's still something that's not going to happen for a few years. And I will say, what you said off the top, I do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And as you know, changes continue to happen in that organization when it comes to on-air personalities. And Mike Wilner, who was a big part of the Blue Jays for over 20 years, is no longer there either. So, it's one of those sad things that those of us who have passion and personality are no longer what they want on there anymore. And God bless them for doing whatever they want to do. But it's a good thing we have formats like this where we can talk. And I'm really glad that you invited me on the show, because it does give me an opportunity to still speak Blue Jays and show the passion that I have.
Well, look, we're going to do it more. And by the way, let's just talk about where this team is going, because Greg Zahn, you worked with him for years, very good friend of mine, predicted the Jays would finish last in the shortened 2020 season. And, yeah, I know, and I don't want to hold it against him, although I might. As you know, they ended up finishing third, made the playoffs. Yep. They learned a lot of lessons. They're one of the youngest teams in the majors, I think the youngest in the playoffs. And I might be turning on the Shapiro Atkins regime, because I wasn't fans of them at all. Do you think they're ahead of schedule and some really exciting days are ahead?
I think they're ahead of schedule compared to what most fans believe. I think if you were to ask Shapiro and Atkins, they'd say, no, we're right on schedule. And I was always okay with what they were doing, simply because I know baseball is a cyclical thing, that your team will be good and then it will be bad. Now, you can get a team like the Boston Red Sox, where they're the best team in baseball one year and then they're last place the next year, and they go back and forth, back and forth. You also can have what the Blue Jays had between the years 1994 and 2015, which was a team that was just okay. They were never last place, but they were never first place. They patched up what they needed to patch up to make themselves competitive. But at some point, you need a full turnaround. And the Jays did what they could with the team they had in 2015 and 2016, and it wasn't quite good enough. And by that time, all your star players, Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Bautista, Josh Donaldson, well, Donaldson still had a lot left in him, but Russell Martin, these guys had already gone past their prime as players. So that's when it's time to do a full rebuild, not just a tweak, not just a fix-it little here, because all that's going to do is it's going to make the team a better than 500 team, but not good enough to be in the play many years. What you need to do is you need to strip the whole thing down and do your best to rebuild it. And they've done a fantastic job rebuilding it. And what they have a number of assets. They still have holes that they need to fill. They need some starting pitching. They need a veteran center fielder on this team. And what do they have now? They have a lot of young players, many that they don't want to part with. And of course, you're not getting rid of Vladimir Guerrero or Bo Bichette or Kevin Biggio, but you've got guys like Lourdes Gurriel or Teoscar Hernandez. You've got a couple of catchers that are, one of them could be used in a trade. You've got Rowdy Tellez. These are all guys that can be a part of the team, but at some point you have to decide who are the non-touchables. And those three I mentioned, along with Nate Pearson, are probably the three untouchables that are going to be a part of this organization for years to come and could help be a part of what this team needs to actually get to that next stage, which is make it to the World Series. Now you added veterans. And if you can't do it via free agency, then you've got some great trade chips there. So I think that Shapiro and Atkins, while they are not the most connected with the fans, while they're not the most engaging people in the world, they do know what they are doing when it comes to trying to put a baseball team together. And many people didn't want to trust the process and were really upset with the fact the team was bad for a couple of years. But I think people like yourself and others who doubted them are now starting to see, maybe they did know what they were doing. It just took some time for us to see it.
Two quick questions. One, Monty in Saskatoon wants to know what you know about a 2021 Major League Baseball season. What are you hearing?
Well, they played this year, so I can't imagine why they wouldn't play in 2021. Where will they play? How long will the season be? I mean, that's as predictable as what's happening with COVID. And, we here in Ontario are seeing, just different things all the time. And we know the States is a complete crap show right now. So it's really hard to say. I would like to hope that there's going to be a football season.
And the Biliztik hoodie, Clark pointed that out. We're part of it too, man. We're part of it. So you're pimping the baseball game?
Yes, absolutely. I'm really excited about this coming about, and to be able to sit and watch a Blue Jays game and do something other than just be on my phone. And hopefully by the new year, the co-host of my podcast, Tom Forth, can come by and we can actually sit and play the game while we're watching a game on TV. But Don and the guys at Biliztik do a great job, so I figured I'd represent, right?
Yeah, ours got lost in the mail, Barry. So I'm glad that they.
Don, got to get Rod some of these wonderful hoodies here.
Exactly. Barry, this is awesome, man. I appreciate the chat. And I hope we can do it again into the new year. And I'll be the first to say happy holidays, my friend. And thanks for the time today.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to do this anytime.
Thank you. Barry Davis joining us from the GTA, longtime Blue Jays sideline reporter. And now you can catch him at the Out of the Park podcast.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.